The secret is out. Triple H just confirmed what nobody saw coming. Drew McIntyre is the man who attacked CM Punk before War Games. This changes everything we thought we knew about WWE's biggest night, and I'm about to break down every shocking detail. You do not want to miss this. What's up, Wrestlingverse family? Welcome back to the channel where we bring you the biggest news, the deepest analysis, and the most honest takes in professional wrestling. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're covering this explosive story from every single angle. And for my returning viewers, you know we've been following this mystery for weeks, and today, we finally have answers. So let's dive right into this incredible revelation. Before we get into Triple H's earth-shattering announcement, we need to set the stage because this story has been months in the making. CM Punk's return to WWE has been nothing short of phenomenal. After years away from the company, after all the drama, after everything that went down, Punk came back and immediately became the hottest commodity in sports entertainment. The fans embraced him, the locker room respected him, and War Games was supposed to be his crowning moment. But then something happened that nobody expected. In the days leading up to War Games, reports started circulating that Punk had been involved in a backstage incident. Not just any incident. We're talking about a vicious attack that left him compromised and questioning whether he could even compete in one of the most brutal matches of the year. The WWE Universe went into overdrive trying to figure out who was responsible. Was it an old rival settling a score? Was it someone jealous of his spotlight? Was it a new enemy making a statement? Triple H, being the master storyteller that he is, kept everyone guessing. He gave us nothing. No hints, no leaks, no breadcrumbs. The anticipation was killing us. And Drew McIntyre. During all of this, the Scottish Warrior was focused on his own War Games preparation. He was cutting promos about dominance, about proving he's the best, about cementing his legacy. On the surface, he seemed completely removed from the Punk situation. That's what made this revelation so shocking. Because when Triple H finally pulled back the curtain, the wrestling world stood still. So let me take you through exactly how this all unfolded. Triple H held a special media session, and you could feel the weight of the moment. The chief content officer stood at that podium with the eyes of the entire wrestling world focused on him. And then he said it. After a thorough investigation into the attack on CM Punk, I can now confirm that the individual responsible is Drew McIntyre. The room erupted. Social media exploded. The WWE Universe couldn't believe what they were hearing. Drew McIntyre, the man who's been a loyal soldier for WWE, the guy who fought his way back from being released to becoming a multiple-time world champion, the performer who held the company together during some of its toughest times, he was the one who took out Punk. But here's where Triple H's genius came through. He didn't just drop the news and walk away. He provided context. He explained the motivation. He gave us the psychology behind why Drew did what he did. According to Triple H, Drew had been harboring resentment for weeks. Every time Punk appeared on television and the crowd erupted, Drew felt overlooked. Every time Punk's merchandise flew off the shelves, Drew felt undervalued. Every time the media asked about Punk instead of the current roster, Drew felt disrespected. And here's the thing. You can actually understand where Drew is coming from. This is a man who was released by WWE, who rebuilt himself from the ground up on the independent circuit, who came back bigger and stronger and more determined than ever. Drew won the WWE Championship during the pandemic era when there were no fans in the building. He didn't get his WrestleMania moment with 70,000 people cheering. He carried the company through unprecedented times. And then Punk returns and immediately becomes the center of attention. From Drew's perspective, that's a slap in the face. Let's dig deeper into Drew McIntyre's psychology because this attack wasn't random, it was strategic. Drew has always been one of the most intense competitors in WWE. When he speaks, there's genuine passion in his voice. When he competes, he leaves everything in that ring. He's not playing a character. He's being an amplified version of himself, and that version demands respect. Over the past year, we've seen subtle shifts in Drew's demeanor. He's been more aggressive in promos. He's been more violent in his matches. He's been more vocal about feeling like he doesn't get the credit he deserves. Looking back now with this new information, all those pieces fit together like a puzzle. The attack on Punk wasn't just about eliminating competition for War Games, it was about sending a message. Drew was telling the entire locker room, telling management, telling the world, I'm done being overlooked. I'm done playing nice. If you want to see the real Drew McIntyre, you're about to get exactly that. And you know what? In the twisted world of professional wrestling, there's something almost respectable about that mindset. Drew didn't go to Triple H and complain. He didn't cut passive-aggressive promos. He took action. He seized control of his narrative in the most brutal way possible. Now, does that make what he did right? Absolutely not. Attacking someone from behind goes against everything we consider honorable in competition. But does it make sense for his character? Does it create compelling storytelling? 100% yes. This is the kind of character development that makes wrestling fascinating. Drew isn't a one-dimensional villain. He's a complex individual with legitimate grievances who chose to handle them in an extreme way. Now let's talk about the other side of this equation, CM Punk's inevitable response. If you know anything about CM Punk, you know he doesn't let things slide. This is the man who turned real-life frustrations into the greatest work-shoot promo in wrestling history. This is the competitor who thrives on conflict, who lives for the opportunity to prove doubters wrong. Drew McIntyre just made the biggest mistake of his career. He gave CM Punk fuel. Punk now has every justification to go absolutely nuclear on Drew. We're talking scorched earth, no holds barred, take no prisoners warfare. And the beautiful thing about CM Punk is that he can hurt you with his words just as much as he can hurt you physically in the ring. I'm already anticipating the promos. Imagine Punk standing in the center of that ring, microphone in hand, breaking down Drew's attack piece by piece. Imagine him questioning Drew's courage, his character, his legacy. Imagine him turning Drew's own words against him. And then, when they finally meet in the ring, it's going to be violent. It's going to be personal. It's going to be the kind of match that people talk about for years. The question is when. Does Triple H book this match immediately, capitalizing on the white-hot heat? Or does he let it simmer, building anticipation week after week until the tension is unbearable? My gut says we're looking at a slow burn. These are two of the best talkers in the business, two phenomenal in-ring performers, and two guys who understand how to tell a story. Rushing this would be doing a disservice to the potential of this feud. Let's take a step back and appreciate what Triple H is doing here from a creative standpoint. The game didn't stumble into this revelation. He orchestrated it. From the moment of the attack to the weeks of speculation to this perfectly timed announcement, every step has been calculated to maximize interest and engagement. Triple H learned from the best. His mentor, his father-in-law, Mr. McMahon himself. But where Vince often went for shock value and chaos, Triple H is showing he understands nuance. He's giving us complex characters with understandable motivations. He's creating conflicts that feel real even though we know it's scripted entertainment. This Drew versus Punk situation isn't just about two guys fighting. It's about legacy, respect, ego, and pride. Those are universal themes that audiences connect with whether they're hardcore wrestling fans or casual viewers. And here's the brilliant part. Triple H has now created a situation where there's no clear good guy or bad guy. Yes, Drew attacked Punk from behind, which is traditionally a heel move. But Drew's reasons resonate with anyone who's ever felt overlooked or underappreciated at their job. On the flip side, Punk is the victim of an attack, which should make him the sympathetic figure. But Punk's also the guy who left WWE for years and came back expecting the red carpet treatment. Some fans will side with Drew's perspective on that. This ambiguity is what makes modern wrestling so compelling. We're past the era of simple hero versus villain. We're in an age where characters have layers, where motivations are complex, where audiences can debate who's really in the right. That's the kind of storytelling that creates passionate fan engagement. That's how you get people invested not just in the matches, but in the journey. So what happens now? Where does this story go from here? First, I expect CM Punk to address this revelation on the next episode of whatever brand he's on. He's going to want to look Drew in the eye, or at least look into the camera and send a message directly to him. That promo is going to be must-see television. Second, I think we're going to see Drew double down on his actions. He's not going to apologize. He's not going to show remorse. He's going to justify what he did and dare Punk to do something about it. That's the Drew McIntyre we've come to know, defiant to his core. Third, Triple H is going to have to make a decision about consequences. In storyline terms, does management punish Drew for the attack? Do they fine him, suspend him, or do they recognize that chaos creates ratings and let it play out? I'm betting on option 3. Triple H knows that sometimes the best thing creative can do is get out of the way and let the talent create magic. We could also see other wrestlers get involved. Maybe someone from Punk's past steps up to have his back. Maybe Drew recruits allies who share his frustration about returning legends taking spotlight from current roster members. This could expand into something much bigger than just a one-on-one feud. The possibilities are endless, and that's what has me so excited about WWE right now. Triple H just changed the game, folks. Drew McIntyre attacking CM Punk isn't just a shocking reveal, it's the foundation for what could be the feud of the year. This is the kind of storytelling that reminds us why we fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. Real emotion, complex characters, and conflicts that make us feel something. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me. Are you Team Punk or Team Drew? How do you think this feud should play out? What match stipulation would be perfect for their eventual collision? If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more content like this. Make sure you're subscribed to Wrestlingverse CC with notifications on because this story is just getting started, and you don't want to miss a single update. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, and remember, in the Wrestlingverse, the story never ends. I'll catch you in the next one.